I've just learned something that might be important. Mr. Boddy was meeting with guests yesterday to go over private issues concerning his impending inheritance. He met with them one by one outside at the fountain. I was just investigating when I found one of the items we are looking for. If you stop by the billiard room, I'll see if you are observant enough to take a look at it. I've found another one of those items we are looking for. If you stop by the lounge, I'll see if you are observant enough to take a look at it. I need to see all of you in the evidence room right away. Mrs. Peacock met with Buddy just after Mr. Green did. Are there any players in the conservatory? Are you okay? This thief is more dastardly than we thought. I'll take this opportunity to bring some evidence back to the evidence room. Oh, you're hot on the trail now, though. Good show. Toodle pip. Hello. Mrs. Peacock and her daughter were clearly upset with the Colonel and spent their time in the wing that was as far away from him as possible. Who knows what quarrel they're all having? Best not to stick one's nose in others' business, I always say. One more thing. I believe this item might help in your investigation. Coming! Miss Scarlet and Mrs. Peacock were the first to arrive at breakfast. Miss Scarlet kept asking her mother what her business was with Mr. Body. Mrs. Peacock kept refusing to tell her. None of my business, really. One more thing. I believe this item might help in your investigation. Good day. Mr. Green seemed to be angry with everyone. What a cantankerous fellow. Still, he seemed most angry with Plum and stayed as far away from the professor as possible. One more thing. I believe this item might help in your investigation. Hello. Professor Plum spent all day in the West Wing, muttering to himself and clearly agitated. Odd chap. One more thing. I believe this item might help in your investigation. Coming! After his last appointment, I was very surprised to find Mr. Body in a foul mood. He was so upset, he sent the guests home. Then he dismissed the staff for the rest of the day and asked that I leave him alone. It was all very disturbing and quite unlike him. One more thing. I believe this item might help in your investigation. Good day. The Professor and Colonel Mustard found themselves in the same room at one point during the day. After an awkward silence, the Colonel huffed some excuse and returned to the ballroom. One more thing. I believe this item might help in your investigation. Hello. Some of the guests' requests are getting quite out of hand. Miss Scarlet, for example, asked to be served lunch in the lounge. Such an inconvenience on Mrs. White. I made up my mind to say something. But when I arrived to serve her, Miss Scarlet was facing the east window and was quite upset. One more thing. I believe this item might help in your investigation. Coming. After dismissing the guests and staff, Mr. Body asked me to prepare his desk items so that he could do some work in anticipation of his 30th birthday next week. He seemed to have quite a weight on his shoulders. One more thing. I believe this item might help in your investigation.